You're about to step inside not one, but 10 of the world's most expensive homes. We're talking billion-dollar palaces with gold-plated fixtures, underground nightclubs, and private beaches. These aren't just houses, they're entire worlds unto themselves. Let's begin. Section 1. Antilia, Mumbai, India. Antilia rises 27 stories above Mumbai, a vertical palace that dominates the skyline. This isn't a mansion, it's a skyscraper that happens to be a private home. At 400,000 square feet, the building contains more space than most office towers. 6 entire floors are dedicated to parking, with room for 168 cars. 3 helipads crown the roof because Mumbai's traffic is best avoided entirely when you're worth $90 billion. The structure was designed to withstand an 8.0 magnitude earthquake, engineered like a fortress disguised as luxury. Mukesh Ambani, chairman of Reliance Industries and India's richest man, built Antilia for his family. A staff of 600 maintains the property, more employees than many companies have total. The building includes a health spa, ice cream parlor, multiple swimming pools, and a temple for prayer. Construction costs reportedly exceeded $1 billion, and current valuations place Antilia between $1 to $2 billion. It's named after a mythical island, though there's nothing mythical about its presence. Critics have called it obscene, a monument to inequality. Supporters argue it employs hundreds and demonstrates Indian wealth on a global stage. Either way, it stands. 27 stories of marble and ambition, impossible to ignore. Section 2. Villa Leopolda, French Riviera, France. Villa Leopolda commands 50 acres of the French Riviera with the quiet confidence of old money. Built in 1902 for King Leopold II of Belgium, this estate has watched over the Mediterranean for more than a century. The villa itself contains 11 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms, but the real story unfolds in the grounds. 50 full-time gardeners maintain the property. That's not a staff, it's a small army dedicated solely to preserving the estate's botanical perfection. There's a commercial greenhouse, manicured terraces that descend toward the sea, and a private beach where the Mediterranean laps against stones that have known royalty and war alike. During World War II, Villa Leopolda served as a military hospital, its grand rooms converted to care for wounded soldiers. The estate is currently owned by Lily Safra, widow of Brazilian banker Edmund Safra. In 2008, Russian billionaire Mikhail Prohorov attempted to purchase Villa Leopolda for $750 million, then backed out of the deal. He forfeited his $50 million deposit, enough to buy 100 average homes, simply walked away. At an estimated value of $750 million, Villa Leopolda represents a particular kind of wealth, the kind that compounds across generations, where value isn't measured in sales, but in centuries of uninterrupted privilege. Section 3. Buckingham Palace, London, United Kingdom. Buckingham Palace sprawls across 775 rooms in central London, serving as both home and office for British royalty. At an estimated value of $4.9 billion, it's among the world's most valuable properties, though it will never be sold. 78 bathrooms, 92 offices, 52 royal and guest bedrooms, 19 staterooms used for official functions. The palace operates as a small city with its own post office, police station, and cinema. There are 760 windows cleaned every 6 weeks and over 40,000 light bulbs throughout the building. King Charles III currently resides here, though the palace is owned by the Crown Estate rather than the royal family personally. It's a working palace hosting state dinners, diplomatic receptions, and garden parties for thousands. The original structure dates to 1703, expanded and renovated numerous times over 3 centuries. The most recent major renovation cost £369 million and is still ongoing, addressing aging infrastructure and safety concerns. Buckingham Palace represents institutional wealth, money so old and established it transcends personal ownership. The king lives here but doesn't own it. The Crown Estate maintains it but answers to Parliament. At $4.9 billion, Buckingham Palace seems expensive until you realize it's a museum, office building, residence, and symbol of a 1,000-year-old monarchy all rolled into one. Section 4. Villa Aurora, Rome, Italy. Villa Aurora occupies 30,000 square feet in the heart of Rome, but its true value lies on a ceiling. This palace contains the world's only ceiling mural by Caravaggio, a masterwork valued at $360 million on its own. The rest of the villa is almost an afterthought. The property has remained in the Boncompagni Ludovisi family for 4 centuries, since before the United States existed as a nation. That kind of continuity is rare even among Europe's elite, with ownership passing from generation to generation, each inheriting not just a property, but a piece of cultural heritage. In 2022, Villa Aurora went to auction with a starting price of $471 million. No one bid. Even among the ultra-wealthy, nearly $500 million for a home requiring extensive renovation proved too steep. The estate needs an estimated $11 million in repairs, relatively modest compared to the asking price, but enough to complicate matters. The current owners, descendants of Prince Niccolò Boncompagni Ludovisi, have announced plans to attempt another sale, perhaps with adjusted expectations. Villa Aurora represents a peculiar problem. How do you sell something priceless? When art becomes architecture, when history is literally built into the walls, traditional real estate valuations break down. The ceiling alone costs more than most estates. Section 5. Witanhurst, London, United Kingdom. Witanhurst spans 90,000 square feet in London's Highgate neighborhood, making it the second largest private residence in the city after Buckingham Palace. Only the king has more space. The mansion contains 25 bedrooms and a 70-foot ballroom capable of hosting hundreds. For years, Witanhurst remained shrouded in mystery. Neighbors watched as construction crews worked behind privacy screens, undertaking renovations that reportedly cost over $100 million. Nobody knew who owned it or what was happening inside. London's own real estate enigma. The owner is Andrei Guryev, a Russian billionaire with an estimated net worth exceeding $5 billion. He purchased Witanhurst in 2008 and spent years transforming it, adding a 3-story basement containing a swimming pool, gym, and private cinema. Section 6. Villa Les Palmières, French Riviera, France. Villa Les Palmières commands 20 acres on the French Riviera, its 19th century elegance preserved through careful stewardship. The estate's botanical gardens contain some of Europe's rarest plant species, cultivated over decades into a living museum of horticultural excellence. The main house features a ballroom accommodating 200 guests. Not a large room that could fit people, but a proper ballroom designed for formal events with soaring ceilings and crystal chandeliers. An Olympic-sized pool occupies the grounds, flanked by the kind of landscaping that requires full-time professional attention year-round. The guest house is larger than most luxury homes, a separate residence for visitors that maintains the estate's overall aesthetic while providing complete privacy. Everything here whispers rather than shouts, demonstrating elegance through understatement and impeccable taste. Villa Les Palmières represents patient wealth, the kind that buys beauty and simply holds it, watching values climb while maintaining the property to exacting standards. No flipping, no speculation, just ownership of something extraordinary and the resources to preserve it indefinitely. Section 7. Villa Astor, Amalfi Coast, Italy. Villa Astor clings to the Amalfi Coast, built atop ancient Roman ruins that predate the villa by more than a millennium. This 19th century estate features 6 suites, each with private terraces overlooking the Mediterranean, views that have drawn poets and artists for centuries and continue to captivate today. The gardens contain over 1,000 plant species, with Roman artifacts scattered throughout, like decorative elements borrowed from history itself. It's unclear where the archaeological site ends and the luxury estate begins, creating a seamless blend of ancient and elegant. Villa Astor's rental model represents an interesting shift in luxury real estate. Why leave these estates empty when they can generate income? At $150,000 per week, the property could theoretically generate over $7 million annually if fully booked. The estimated value of approximately $400 million suddenly seems like a reasonable investment with strong returns. Section 8. The One, Bel Air, California. The One sits in Bel Air like a monument to ambition. At 105,000 square feet, this mega mansion sprawls across its hilltop perch with the kind of presence that makes neighboring estates look modest. 21 bedrooms, 49 bathrooms, a 30-car garage carved into the hillside. Developer Niall Nyami envisioned this as America's most expensive home, a $500 million statement piece. The property boasts its own nightclub, a beauty salon, and a wellness center that rivals luxury spas. There's a 10,000 60,000 square foot sky deck, larger than most people's entire homes, offering views that stretch from downtown Los Angeles to the Pacific Ocean. But ambition met reality. The one filed for bankruptcy and sold at auction in 2022 for $141 million to Richard Sagian, CEO of Fashion Nova. A steep discount from the original $500 million asking price, certainly, but still enough to buy hundreds of average homes. The new owner reportedly plans extensive renovations, though the estate remains largely private. What makes the one remarkable isn't just its size. It's the audacity of its original vision balanced against market reality. You can build anything with enough money, but that doesn't guarantee anyone will buy it at your price. Even in ultra-luxury real estate, there are limits to what the market will bear, and the one discovered those limits spectacularly. Section 9. Palazzo di Amore, Beverly Hills, California. Palazzo di Amore occupies 25 acres in Beverly Hills. Its 53,000 square foot main house, complemented by a 15,000 square foot entertainment complex. The estate includes its own bowling alley, because apparently driving to bowl is too much effort when you're worth billions. The property maintains an actual working vineyard, producing 400 to 500 cases of wine annually under its own label. Most people buy wine at stores. This estate makes its own, hosts its own wine tastings, and bottles under its own brand. There's a 12-seat theater, ballroom for 200 guests, and parking for 150 cars during events. Palazzo di Amore represents a particular vision of luxury. The self-sufficient estate where every possible need is met within the property boundaries. You could live here for months without leaving, entertaining guests, making wine, bowling, and watching movies. Whether that's paradise or prison probably depends on your perspective and personality. Section 10. Château de Versailles, Versailles, France. Versailles sprawls across 721,000 square feet with 700 rooms, 1,250 fireplaces, and 67 staircases. The palace sits on 2,014 acres, larger than 1,500 football fields combined. It's not a home, it's a monument to absolutism, a physical manifestation of unlimited power. Versailles represents the ultimate cautionary tale about luxury real estate. You can build something so expensive it breaks your entire country. Louis XIV wanted to prove his absolute power. He succeeded and then lost everything. Now millions walk through his palace every year, gawking at rooms that once demanded silence and reverence. The ultimate irony of unlimited ambition. Which of these billion-dollar palaces would you actually want to live in? Would you choose Antilia's vertical luxury, or would you prefer the historic elegance of Villa Leopolda? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this tour through the world's most expensive homes, hit that subscribe button. We've got more incredible real estate coming your way.